As we all know, medical device manufacturing is an industry that typically requires significant oversight. In these unusual circumstances, how do safety and efficacy standards relate to the need it now concerns, where the speed of 3D printing is a primary factor for its use? And how does the concept of the digital warehouse come into play for additive manufacturing in the medical space?
Yeah, no, appreciate the question. And it is a big topic. And if you go back to the fundamentals of why regulation is there, it's to provide a risk-benefit structure for medical devices and things to help people. So you want to be efficacious, right? But you also want to make sure that there's a benefit, but you're not being too burdensome in the risk process. So in general, right, you have this risk-benefit analysis, and then when things are, something like this happens and there's a huge benefit because there's nothing else there, that's when these regulatory processes are revisited, right? So, for example, there are a couple pathways to do this in the United States, and I'll use that as the framework here today. And one of those is the emergency use authorization, which we're seeing quite a lot of right now, and that's with ventilators that are getting redesigned or created from universities and things like that, going through that emergency use authorization and finding a minimum risk-benefit requirement that's going to help save patients' lives, right? So that's one example. Another example is a humanitarian device exemption, which means that there is nothing else to help that patient. So EOS has a nice case study to illustrate this that we did several years ago, starting with the University of Michigan, for a tracheal splint that infants were using to keep them alive while their underdeveloped trachea then grew as they grew. So this was a program that we started at the University of Michigan, went on to Georgia Tech, et cetera. But the idea was, because there was no other way to save this patient's life, you were able to use something with huge benefit, right, life-saving, with still accepting that level of risk. So this is kind of the same idea here. Generally, in normal circumstances, we like to see that the processes, your manufacturing process, your design process, all of these things are well documented, understood, so that you're going to make the same device every time for that patient, and they're going to be safe and effective for them. So that's kind of the underlying baseline, and additive manufacturing has been used for many years to do this. So the hip implants, acetabular shells, had clinical history of more than 10 years now. Patient-specific cutting guides have had clinical history of about 10 years. So these types of things are, have a longevity in the marketplace, but the risk benefit is really how you have to think about it, and how the regulating bodies think about it as well when these types of situations happen, like is happening right now.
Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumb up. And if you'd like to have further information about educational content or other webinars from EOS, just click the links in the description box below. We hope to see you soon in one of our next videos. Until then, go and subscribe our channel. Bye!